using the timing and scanning devices for individual starts. An individual start are events such as orienteering, maybe cycling, certain graded running events where an individual starts at different times. So it's not what we call a mass start. A mass start is when everybody starts at the same time. An individual start just gives you much more flexibility in terms of the formats of your events. So it's a really simple process, and like I said, it allows you, gives you another option in terms of your events. So all you do is the timing doesn't change, okay? You're using the same timer to start and finish the race, using the same method. The only difference is it's more of a stopwatch than it ever has been, because obviously what happens is the time for the individual athlete, actually starts when it's scanned and finishes when it's scanned at the finish line. Now for this you must use two different scanners, because you can imagine it's going to mix up the two. If not, I think you're going to generate weird results, which is not what you want. So we're going to keep this one as the scanner for our start time. So I'm going to put a little rubber band over there, and that's going to just highlight to me that that is the one that I'm using for the start, and I'm going to leave the rubber band off that one just so I know that that one's the finish one. And basically this is how the race would work. We've got our timing device ready to go. Okay, so we start it in its traditional way. It has the uptone, so you know it's ready, you know it's loaded, and the race will start as soon as you hit that first button. So the race is now, the timer has now started. Now that timer has now started. Now your athletes are coming up to you individually with these around your neck or holding them whichever way you may want to attach them. They may have something, if it's a tri event, they might be have it on the wetsuit, or it might be attached to the bike. That's entirely up to them. It's going to make it really easy to scan if it's really visible. Okay, so all we're going to do is we're going to start these athletes off at different times, and we've got 8 athletes in our race. Okay, that's the first athlete away. Next athlete steps up to the plate. Great, second athlete's gone. Third athlete's gone. Okay. Fourth athlete's gone. So they say they're in a little mini group. Maybe it's a set series of friends, okay, racing in a cycle sportive or racing in a group race together. Okay, absolutely perfect. You know, there's going to be like minimums of seconds between them, and if you want to group them as the same time, then obviously you just take the first timing device was scanned, and you know, you can work out what their group time was, if you like, as well. So that gives you another option. Okay, and this is another set of individuals coming through. Okay, every time it bleeps, every time it's registered, so that's really handy. Right, that's all those guys sorted. Okay, so you can imagine that the athletes are then running with the barcodes around their neck. I'm just gonna, you know, I'm gonna mix these up now, as if obviously what's happened in the race is naturally, even though people start at different times, you're going to get people with such different abilities. Like a 30-second time difference is absolutely nothing in a race. So, you know, these people would have overtaken, that doesn't matter. So making sure that this is obviously, if it's a different start and finish point, then you won't have this issue anyway, because this timer will be nowhere near. Okay, but let's just assume that it's the same start and finish point. Make sure that timer is that scanner, is well and truly out the way. Okay, now as the athletes come in, okay, you're picking up your scanners again, and you're making sure that basically that every time that person crosses the line, that you are pressing the button as per normal, because you've only got one. You've got the same start time, if you like, because the scanning time has determined that, and your finishing time is going to be determined by the press of this and when the scan, because that's going to sort the positions out. All right, So basically the athletes are starting to finish the line. So let's just say we get a group of 4 of them. Alright, so you scan. You've got 4 athletes just come in, and that's athlete number 3. Okay, so he now needs to be scanned on the other timer. This bloke's been scanned on that timer. Again, now you've obviously finished with them because the race is finished. You can just put those into a bucket. Okay. Now you won't be doing this on your own. Obviously somebody else will be doing this with you. I'm just showing you how it can be done. Okay, and then we've got our remaining 4 athletes relatively close together. We're just setting, all the timer is doing is setting their places. Okay, it's just generating the fact that there is an athlete finished at that point of time. When you scan, then it will obviously pull through to recognise them, the positions of which the athlete's finished. And this is done by our scanner. Okay, there we go. Now that's our 8 athletes finished. Now, very simply then, to generate the results, the race has ended. So the person on the timer, they've ended the time. That's fantastic. So what you would do then is, obviously the time is really important, so you put the micro USB into your computer. You go onto the timers, download timers option, which will be shown on the video which I show you with the screenshots, and then it'll automatically download to that particular event that you've selected. Okay, that's your time sorted. Don't worry about that anymore. Okay, you can unplug that, you can keep it in your PC, it won't clash. Okay, now the first thing you need to do is, obviously you need to correlate your timing, your times with the start times. So the first thing you do is you put the start time, the start scanner, okay, which in essence has been your start time scanner. Okay, you put that in and then it downloads that results. So you put that in, again it automatically recognises it in the PC using the micro USB, and then it'll generate those results. Download that. Okay, so you put that to one side. You then obviously plug in your finish timer scanner if you like, and then that will load into there also. Now you then generate the output file, and in the output file you'll be able to see the position, okay, in relation to the time, and everything will be in columns. You can then obviously do with that as you please. You'll probably generate your own Excel spreadsheet, which I can provide, which will then rank them into whatever you want, whether you want top 5 in different age categories, whether you want your top 10 finishes, whatever it may be. Those with the fastest percentage time, the sky's your limit with it all. So thanks for listening. Hopefully that'll explain everything. There is obviously worksheets, work cards if you like, on the website, which again explain the timing devices in more depth and actually like quite workable work cards. I hope that explains everything for you. Thank you.
It's assuming that you've already created your athlete registration database, which is obviously your athletes with all their details, and you've assigned them an athlete ID. So in our race there's 8 athletes. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to create a new event. We're going to call it Phil Challenge 2. The event date is today. Now because we've done time trials and things like that before, it will save the history, which is quite clever. So we'll just click Hill Time Trial, as we've done this before, and the start time, which gives you the 3 choices: mass start, group start and individual start. Today's race we're showing individual start, so obviously we're clicking on that. Now are we using finish position tags? On this occasion we're not going to do, we're going to use the athlete's barcode to register the start and the finish times. Okay, so we click on OK. Now all my software is now set up to read the timers. So as long as the timers have done their job, then this should prove really simple. Now what is very important to do is obviously to make sure that before your event, if you haven't done this already, that you've initialized your device. I'm just showing you this now because sometimes you can get to the stage and you just think, yeah, I can't do it. Well, actually you can. You can still plug it in and initialize the device, which basically just synchronizes your device, but it's good practice to do that all the time anyway. So you click on that tool. So you click on download timers, and it says there that nothing has been, so there's no history of this particular race. Okay, I plug my timer in. It then says that 8 athletes' finish times have been saved, which are our 8 runners, which is exactly what we want to hear. Now, if, for instance, it said that there were more times than there were competitors, that doesn't matter because it will cleverly work out which one you've added additionally. So there's no need to worry about that. Now, as we've said before, what you then want to be doing is you then want to be plugging in your initial start time. Okay, so this is your initial scan time. What we now do is obviously we now plug in our initial timer. Now when we do this, it will prompt us. Okay, once we click on the download timers, it registers the timer, then it says, are these the start data or the individual data? And it says that there are 8 individual starts recorded. Okay, so we know we've registered everybody, which is fantastic. Okay, obviously you're done with that now. Now what you do is you take that out and you put the finish data in. Okay, and it'll ask you, obviously it'll prompt us now. It'll say, is this the finish data? And you will say, yes, this is the finish data. Okay, it says 8 paired athletes or positions recorded, downloaded. All that information then is basically done. It's ready to be generated into the output file. You click on the generator of the output file. Now you have to decide, okay, you just have to decide on which category you would like to print out. Would you like to see the female results, or would you just like to see them all? Let's just assume you would like to see them all, and you wouldn't want to see any of the particular categories or any particular club. You know, and the others aren't really relevant in terms of what we're trying to achieve. But you could just quite simply export those, as we've already spoken about, and you can have individual results for male, female, female in a certain age category. You could print out club results really easily. We have gone through that all. That's the beauty of this system. We're just now going to click on the export, and it says creating the output file. We're just going to save it into our races or wherever you want. I'm just going to save it to this part. Okay, it says result file created successfully. Okay. Now we've generated that file into Excel. We can simply find where the file is in my... Now you've produced the output file. You simply go to the output file, which is set up in my Excel here. Build challenge 1, and you click on it and it will show you all the results. And from that now you can generate your own output files. Okay, it will give you all the runners details that you need, the age category, and I've created things that will within the particular software that will allow you then to generate sort of first, second, third in certain age categories, and obviously that's available in all part of the service. And as you can see there from here, Alex produced the fastest time, okay, 13 seconds. This is the race start time, and those are the elapsed times in between when that person was scanned, okay, and when they actually finished the race. Okay, and the start and finish time will also reflect that. Okay, so you can see that that's the amount of time that they took in between scans. Alright, so again, you generate results that way. The position that they came was based purely on which they scanned. Now, you know, we could have set this up so that we show you that you don't have to be in the same order that we set off, that some people could have overtaken it, but it works 100%.